So here we go with race number 1 of the day, the Junior Supermoto and Mini GP 90s. Let's have a look at some of the qualifying from this morning. Starting on pole position is Arnie Carr with a 106.55. Quite a jump from Luca Wilkinson in second place. Daniel Stevenson was third from Jack Hamilton. Hudson Cooper lines up in fifth place. Jack Newton is in sixth position with a 112.50. Alfie Flynn, Harvey Saville, Brooke Champion and Travis Shaw rounding up the top 10 from Charlie Ward. And Billy Carter on the number 85 in 12th place. Matt Davidson is 13th from Owen Tempest. Harrison Quincy in 15th position. Pierce Reeves, Logan Conley and Leo Soliu in 18th place. 19th for Sol Perry, Finley Hanna in 20th. And rounding out the field in this 22-rider field, Ollie Brooks and Jack Beard on the number 8 in 22nd position. So after what's been a bit of a delay, the riders are finally out on track and ready for racing. Warming up the machines, getting ready to go. And I think, Jake, this is, of course, your first ever race to comment on the British Mini Bikes. So you're looking forward to this one?
Absolutely, and it's worth noting about there are 2 championships here, age groups 7 to 10 here that we see from this JSM 90 category. But what's crucial is that MGP or the Mini GP groups right now, Arnie Carr leading the championship, 3 wins out of 3 in that category. Main rival is Finley Hanna all the way down at the back of the pack. So that's going to be a case where Arnie's going to be thinking about overall victory, just keeping the bike nice and smooth. That could be something key. Lot closer, JSM 90. Dan Stevenson, 10 points clear of Luca Wilkinson. If Luca can just keep everything nice and calm here today, this could be a really, really close-fought championship heading back to Witton Mill.
Let's have a look how this gets on as the riders start to line up for the first moto of the day. Of course, the 2 classes racing together and scored separately. We'll keep you up to date with the positions as they develop once the race goes ahead. So riders now making their positions on the grid. We see the helper marshals down there making sure that they are in position and that everyone is ready to go. And last few riders just making their way around the back of the circuit now. We should see them coming down onto the grid in just a moment. And our first moto of the day for round number 4 of the Rich Energy British Mini Bikes is about to get underway. Last few riders now lining up on the grid. Lovely weather today. Looks set to be a great afternoon's racing.
Oh, it certainly is, and you can just see all of the anticipation and everyone looking to try and get excited. A couple of people there waving and feeling like, okay, are you ready? Are you happy? Yeah, let's go. Let's get ourselves ready. The final preparations then are going to be here, and now it's about, okay, what's next? It's the race, and now get into the right mentality, focus, and let's get ourselves underway.
So here we go, the marshals clearing the grid now. The starter was right at the back there, just getting the machine started up. Looks like they've lost the engine. We should be underway in just a moment. The riders do, of course, have a few moments to get the machines ready if they fail on the grid, but it appears that rider at the back is ready to go. We're just keeping an eye on the marshal. There's a gate missing at the front there, so maybe one rider hasn't made the start. We'll have to look at that in a few moments. The green flag goes up. Riders are ready, but, trouble for the pulses there momentarily. No, we're ready to go. Green flag is about to drop, and the first race of the day is underway. Here they go, charging in immediately into that first right-hander.
They really do not have much time to think as they go through the opening section of the lap. It's an immediate right in that paddock bend and then towards turn 2. Everyone funneling on through quite nicely. 10 laps worth of racing action, and already it is the number 83 out and away. Arnie Carr at the front. There's a bit of side-by-side in towards turn number 3. Not going to quite be able to get that, but the S's section, it's all about weight transfer through here, and now pick up the best run possible because Luna Bend is coming up, and that is where it all starts to become a reality.
Here they come around Luna Bend, then the rest of the pack making their way into that corner now. The leaders already, as you can see from the drone footage, down the Conrod straight for the first time, and it is certainly number 83, Arnie Carr, has got a fantastic lead. Bit of a battle here, though, with the 217 Hudson Cooper and 135 of Jack Newton, just tailing as they go up the climb, down towards the Cowards drop into the final lap. Oh, down the inside, they're having a look. It seemed like Newton having a peek on the inside there. None of this, of course, bothering the race leader, as again, the 135 of Jack Newton has a peek down the inside. But Cooper has got the line around the final corner and holds on to that position.
Absolutely, and Newton as well has been doing quite well, is down there in 5th place, but has been third in class, and third in class for the first 3 rounds of the season will be wanting a little bit more. There is the 217 of Hudson Cooper having a really solid run of things here today up the hill, but there is that 128 there just in front, which is going to make life just a little bit more tricky as they start backing up into each other ever so slightly, going through the mid part of the track and now heading towards that Lunar Bend once again. The key here is that Jack Hamilton has got to be really, really focused. He's a newcomer as well to this championship, will be wanting a good run, and now this is where you're going to see who's got the best slingshot out of this corner to charge on Conrad, very similar to the fastest straight in Australian motorsports at Mount Panorama Bathurst with the same name.
Well, Hudson Cooper got a nice drive out of the Lunar Bend, but it hasn't really worked out, and certainly looking threatening from Jack Newton, who again has a look down the inside. Arnie Carr leading the Mini GP 90s, and the second place rider, the number 11 of Stevenson, leading the Junior Supermotos. Carr already crossing the line. Stevenson there you see in shot, just going around that first corner in second place. The battle currently for third, Hudson Cooper, Jack Newton, Harvey Saville on the 41, just crossing the line a little bit further behind. Alfie Flynn, Brook champion, Billy Carter currently in 9th on the number 85, who we should see. There's Carter just coming around the first corner now. Currently second of the Mini GPs, 10th on the track.
10th on the track and having a good run at the moment. Has just dropped a position, though, over this one to Travis Shaw, who's having a pretty good run. And there is that 127 of Ward then having a good run. Charlie Ward, who is making the second start of the season so far and doing quite well, 36 points in the opening proceedings. But this is the difference that you can see. You look at those fighting in the MGP category, looks like a mini bike. You get that dirt bike sort of feel when you get a look at the JSM Championship, and you can see there are not as many, definitely not as many in the MGP compared to the JSM as they make their way through Lunar Bend. These riders are not fighting technically for classified position right now, but being out there on track would be a really nice little battle to be having out there at the moment. Stevenson crossing line doing well, but look at the times in terms of fastest lap. Arnie Carr is 2 seconds clear of the field on fastest lap.
Yet again, Arnie Carr, the class of the field, and here we see the like you mentioned, of course, Jake, the difference between the two machines. These riders, of course, not battling for position right now, but because they're in two separate classes. But the racer's instinct is always to try and pass that rider in front, and always just to try and get as many riders in a different class between you and your rivals. We just saw one of the novices there a bit further down, may possibly have been Jack Beard. We're trying to identify the rider in a few moments, but one or two of the riders with the high-vis vests you'll notice out there as well. These are novice riders, so new to the sport. Just to explain to the more experienced guys out front that they are new riders, just to give them a bit more space when you're lapping them going into the corners. And here we see again that drive out of Lunar Bend, the 28 of Hamilton now into the climb once again. Into the climb. And at the moment it looks like Hudson Cooper, well, he's certainly just keeping tabs on there just behind him.
So all you need to do, really, just stay within a range. That's the sort of racing that we've got over the line. It was a case of 3/10 last time by. We'll take a little look now at the gap, see if that one has just opened up ever so slightly. And Newton's had a pretty good lap time as well, a 109.7 going over the boards at this stage. So this is working quite nicely at the moment here as they battle it all out. About 6-7 tenths, running slightly wide though through turn 2. Very easy to take advantage of that turn 2. Feel like you've got that consistency there. Jack Newton currently, once again, it's the same old story. Every track you go to there, Newton, third in class.
Yeah, he's looking good at the moment, and just shadowing the back there. There's the number 217 of Hudson Cooper, who just seems to have lost a little bit of pace. Currently sitting 5th on the track, 4th of the JSM 90s. No need to tell you who the leader is in Mini GP. It's Arnie Carr, who has cleared away, almost building a 10-second gap at the front as we watch the 217 Hudson Cooper charging down the Conrod Straight, as the two riders just in front of him at the moment, Jack Newton and Hudson Cooper, just shadowing position now at the moment. Hudson Cooper, we watch the 217 just coming into shot now. Well, that's actually Newton, I beg your pardon, the 135, currently in 4th place. This might be a case now where Newton, 5 laps to go here, he's just got to try and shadow the rider in front, just learn the lines maybe, because there might be a stage here where he knows he can perhaps get a better line somewhere and just make that pass.
There's no need to be aggressive at this stage, really, Chris, when you see how this circuit really does offer overtaking opportunity. You can pick and choose the moment as they have to deal with a little bit of lap traffic out there on the circuit. That was Soliu that they just went by, and then, of course, Ollie Brooks as well in 18th place. So they've got to try and really negotiate a way through. That's the 217 on screen right now of Hudson Cooper in that 5th position, 4th in category at this stage. But there are so many battles that are going to be going on up and down the order, and look at this here for a bit of try and run the big wide line, try and make it happen. Hamilton and Newton, they're side by side up Conrad, and it is Hamilton just holding off for the time being, but Newton has bit between teeth.
Yeah, Newton's having a look here now. Great line from Hamilton to get the drive down Conrad straight, and we'll see them coming down towards the final corner now. Looks to me like Hamilton's got this final corner pretty much nailed at the moment. Has a nice line through there, although Newton very quick on the exit, has a look down the inside into the first corner, but that pass isn't going to work out at this stage. Although he's got a nice exit out of the corner, tries the outside line. He's going to, of course, go into a left-hander this time, but Hamilton's got the line. He's got this one sorted at the moment. Very close battle here for 3rd place.
Absolutely, this is pretty much a fantastic scrap towards turn 3 in the S's section. This is about trying to pick up a run. There's traffic, and they're going to really struggle then. Newton had to force to sit up out of the bike there in terms of that one with the 128. It's fortunate to stay within range through Luna Bend. Now they're going to come this next right-hander, and that was so crucial. Up and under. Why don't we? The 135 steals it, but now look at how the run's going to come back here. Contrasting lines and pick up the run for Conrad. This is fantastic riding between the pair of them, and this is what the future is going to be about for the next 10 years.
Drag race down the back straight there. As you can see again, Hamilton has that line. He sacrifices the speed in Luna Bend, but always comes back as a wider entry into the Conrad straight and out drags the 135 going in towards the final few corners. They had to be careful there because the number 8 of Jack Beard on about the worst section of the track to encounter a slow rider, but they both very skillfully got past the less experienced rider. Now, one thing I always say here, Jake, is these riders at the back have got some novice riders out there. And people always say about lap traffic, but at the end of the day, there's no blue flags, and these guys have got just as important a race. The guys battling Leo Soliu, Finley Hanna, Jack Beard, the guys at the back here, for example, their race is just as important for these as the guys at the front.
Exactly, and it's very easy to put a blame on lap traffic and say that, you know, they're causing issues out there on circuit, but everyone is entitled to their own space. And look at this from Newton again, trying to really open up the corner, but this time he's going to contrast the line slightly, stays narrow, but it's all about that commitment that you see from Hamilton, just able to keep a more consistent line through that section, and as such holds that position. But you can't afford to be sitting there and waiting for too long. Look at the lap counter. There's only 2 laps to go here for one Arnie Carr, who has pulled away to the tune of 16 seconds now at the front of the field and has lapped everyone but the top 10.
Yeah, Arnie Carr really has checked out in this one so far, leading by almost 19 seconds from Daniel Stevenson, who is looking strong in 2nd place. The action at the moment, there we see the 83 of Carr, who's neatly picking his way through some of the midfield runners now. There we just briefly saw, I believe that may well have been Ollie Brooks, who went a lap down. There is another one of the Mini GP riders. That's the 85, who Billy Carter, that way you said about the top 10, he's now been lapped. Billy Carter currently in 10th place, and actually that's the 2nd place rider of Mini GP, which just goes to show how quickly Carr's going.
Absolutely, and this is pretty much revelation in the 90 category right now, doing a brilliant job. Still, that battle continues, though, between Hamilton and Newton for 2nd in class at the moment through the long right, and you'd feel that Newton wants it, and there's the traffic. This is going to be, not ideal at all, and what a way to hold it around the outside. That was almost, let's put it into a car perspective, Mika Hakkinen, Michael Schumacher, Ricardo Zonta.
Yeah, it was a bit close, that one there. It was a bit unfortunate there for Newton. He was trying to square the turn off coming out of Luna Bend and get the drive down the straight, but unfortunately the back marker in the wrong place at the wrong time found himself bulked, and 1 lap to go next time round for these 2 riders. And actually, now let's have a look at this. Coming into play here on the final lap is the 217 of Hudson Cooper. Now, of course, Newton had that issue with the back marker. A bit of bad luck there. He lost the drive to Hamilton, and it looks to me like Hudson Cooper, well, they're right on the tail. He's getting involved in this one on the final lap.
He certainly is, and now going to try and look up the hill through Lucy's Valley and trying to make a push. Slightly wide goes the 217, and this is second, third, and fourth, all having this scrap. Stevenson away by 9 seconds at the moment, but the key is this next section. Slow traffic on the exit.
Oh,
they're both going to get through. Look at that for a pick.
Nice.
What a pick! Trying to go on through. It's not quite there, though. Down the inside, it's still held.
I'll tell you what, the Jack Newton, I thought he was out of this going into the final lap. He's found it out of nowhere, gets a nice line out of Luna Bend as Arnie Carr takes the checkered flag. Unfortunately for Arnie Carr, we've almost forgotten about him, the poor rider who's won this race so well, because all our attention is on this battle down the back straight. Hamilton holding on to that third place. Newton had a good line and very skillfully got past the number 8 of Jack Beard. Here we go. So Stevenson's going to take second and win the Junior Supermoto. And here they come around the final corner, Jake.
It's going to be close.
Oh.
And I think it's just going to end up in Hamilton's perspective. It is Hamilton from Newton and then Cooper then over the line. And it was not by much at all as they crossed the line. You could see there on the Delta, that one was really, really close. Those three split by 6/10 over the line.
And notably there, Jack Newton setting his own personal best that time, 109.67. You just may have seen it flick onto the screen on that final lap. He really gave it all he could, but congratulations to Arnie Carr with a 25-second gap at the finish lap, all the way up to the 77th place of Alfie Flynn, number 44. Only the top 6 finishing on the lead lap. That was incredibly close, and we look forward to our next race coming out.